Hi, everybody. I'm Tonja Walker. Welcome to One Day to Love. Today, my guest is Robert Palmer Watkins. He played Dillon Quartermaine on General Hospital, but he has done so many other things. I've seen his clip on Swats. I've seen his movie that's out called The Last 3 Days. But I'm looking forward to Uglies, which was written by Krista Vernoff, and she's been a writer on Grey's Anatomy, Shameless, Charmed, Station 19, and the producer, John Davis, is just one of the producers, produced Prey and I, Robot and several other things. And I have a feeling that Uglies is going to be really something. I also have a great respect for his music. He's incredibly talented. I know everybody saw him sing at the General Hospital Nurses Ball, but he has so much music on YouTube, just wonderful songs. There's one in particular that I like called Compton. So I'm going to talk to him about how it is to be a really, he's a great fighter. He plays a tough guy. He's got a boom chicka boom funny comedy thing that he has on his IMDb site. He's done the General Hospital heartthrob deal, and he's an unusual character. He has done a lot of different things and is talented and just as good in one thing as he is in the next thing, if not better in the next thing. He was in Walking Dead. I can't wait to talk to him about that. So hang in there. We'll be right back. Hi, honey. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm so impressed with you. I can't even begin to tell you.
Oh, thank you. Why?
I'm serious. What do you mean, why?
Appreciate that.
No, really. I wasn't aware of all the things that you were able to do and all the things that you have done and the range that you have and the musical ability that you have. Um, wow.
I appreciate that. That means a lot.
You're welcome.
I'm excited.
I don't say that a lot. I really
Yeah.
don't. I was on daytime television for 20 years.
Yeah.
It takes, you're really, really good.
Which ones were you on?
I was on One Life to Live for 8 years.
Okay, I knew that one.
I got nominated for that one.
Yeah.
And before that, I was on General Hospital for 4 years.
Okay.
And
What years were you on General Hospital?
86 to 90.
Okay. Okay.
And it was a trip. It was
Yeah, because I know I knew kind of who you were. You know, the soap world is like you kind of hear about everybody and you know everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So I had heard your name before and kind of like recognized your face when I got messaged about doing this, and yeah, I'm glad we're doing it.
So I went to your IMDb page, of course, and I did my homework, and I saw so much stuff. I saw SWAT.
Yeah.
I saw this movie that you did a couple years ago, 3 days.
Last 3 days.
Last 3 days. Yeah, I watched that.
Oh gosh, cool.
And then I watched the oh God, this was hard for me. I don't do Walking Dead, okay?
Oh boy.
I don't do Walking Dead ever, okay? Ever. So when the guts started coming out of your stomach, I said, okay, enough. But I knew something gross was going to happen because I saw all the gross people there or whatever they are. So tell me about working on The Walking Dead.
That was so much fun. That was just like such a blessing in disguise. I auditioned for multiple different parts, and finally they booked me on this small, kind of smaller part that had a couple scenes in season 1 of the spinoff World Beyond. And then they did a season 2. I guess it was always going to be a limited series. So 2 seasons was the plan all along. And they brought me back and I did, I think, 7 episodes in season 2. So it was just one of those cool acting jobs that turned into a way bigger thing than it initially was. And it happened during the pandemic. So it was
wow.
Yeah.
Aren't you lucky?
Yeah. So I actually had a cool job to work during
wow.
And it shot in my hometown of Richmond, Virginia, where I went to high school. So
I love Virginia.
yeah. So
I'm from Maryland. I told you I was from Maryland.
Yeah. So I was just in Maryland officiating a wedding this past week. That's why our communication was a little wonky. Sorry.
Fine.
but yeah, that was just it was a really fun job. It's cool to be a part of that. I mean, just like you and I being from the soap world, these shows are so iconic. So whenever you're on a show that's got such a history and like such a solid fan base, it's just really cool to be now I'm forever in that world. You know what I mean?
That's fabulous.
So yeah, and it's quite opposite from soaps. You know, it's cool to
That's
have.
what I noticed about your work. That's what I was talking about when I said what
Yeah,
great range you had.
thank you.
I even saw that boom chicka boom thing, which I could have done without, honestly.
Oh my God, you really did your digging.
I do my homework, yeah. But it was funny, and that's
Yeah,
good. It's good because most people can't do both. I can, but most people can't.
I
They
love.
specialize in one thing, and that's the one thing, and they sort of struggle with
Right.
the other genre. And I didn't see any of that. I didn't see any of that. I couldn't find anything on this tub thing, the sub
Pub life.
with the
Yeah.
subs with the soap suds.
Right.
I decided it was maybe God's will.
Oh yeah, it's up. It's on YouTube. We did that during the pandemic as well, and we released it. We shot our own pilot, and um, we decided just to release it on YouTube. And then another short I recently did called Midnight Ruin. That's up on YouTube. And then I've got a few coming out this summer, I think. It's you never really know when you shoot these, you know how it goes. It's like sometimes they're released within the same year that you shoot it, and sometimes it's like a 3 year delay.
I
So
had to wait a year and a half. I came out here in 5 years ago, 4 years ago, and it was right when the pandemic started. So there was nothing at
yeah,
all. And my
right.
husband had just died, and I had two children, college kids with me.
Yeah.
And I sold our big house in Connecticut, came out to LA with a bunch of money to buy a nice big house. I could afford a garage. So,
Yeah.
and I thought I was really well off, you know
Oh
what I
yeah.
mean? Yeah. So then I went to Palm Desert and I bought a house here.
Awesome.
And then they stopped doing mortgages on April 7th, and I had to pay cash for the house.
What? Is
Yeah, because
that where you're at? That's where you are now.
yeah, that's where I am now. It's a beautiful place, but my God, it was hard, you know. And
Yeah.
then I wasn't able to do any work for 2 years. And then last year we had 6 months of strike. So during the time I was able to work, I went to Kentucky and I did an episode of Destination Heaven
Cool.
with Doug Jones and Harry Lennox, two really amazing American actors. Um, but it took a year and a half for that to come out. And then I did a little movie called The Last Culprit. Took a year and a half for that to come out. So they just came out. So I finally have something
Oh,
new
cool.
on my, but I only had old stuff.
Right. What are those both streaming on or playing on or airing on?
Pureflix is the Destination Heaven one, and the other one's not out yet. It's a post production, but I was able to get a scene.
Oh, nice.
How about
Right.
that? Yeah, lucky.
That's
I had
always
to beg. I did on my knees. I had to beg, but I did. I got it. So this Uglies thing,
yeah.
you've got big
Yeah,
people in
I'm
this.
excited about that.
John
Very-
Davis is he produced Grey's Anatomy. No, wait, Kristen Burnoff wrote Grey's Anatomy, Shameless, Charmed, Station 19. But John Davis produced Prey and iRobot and a whole bunch of other big stuff. I think that's going to really do well for you.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's based off a book series. Uglies was a book series, really popular book series. And Joey King is obviously the lead in the movie, and Mick G is directing it. So uh, I play Joey King's father in all of the flashback scenes to when she was younger. So that's another one. It was like so cool to be on a production of that scale with those caliber of actors and the directors. It just was like it was big. It's
That's
going to
your
be
first. Is that your first besides TV? That's your first more big film thing.
yeah. I guess it is because all the other movies I've done have been more indie, more independent. Some of them have gotten picked up by bigger streaming platforms and stuff, which has been nice. Like last 3 days was on Apple and Amazon, but yeah, this was the first movie I've done that was on. They got a real big budget, probably. I mean, I don't know what it was, but it's Netflix and
It looks big to me.
it looks big.
Big to me.
Yeah. So, but I
So I
haven't
was
heard
like,
anything about that's one of those projects that I shot 2 years ago, I think, and I haven't heard. I mean, I know they're going to be promoting it. You know, that's for Netflix. They'll
Oh,
definitely.
definitely,
So
definitely.
but I just everybody's like, when's that coming out? And I'm like, I don't know. I haven't even seen a little thumbnail on IMDb yet for like a
I
post.
know, I looked,
Yeah.
but it sounds like it sounds like it's going to appeal to 20 somethings.
I think so. Yeah, because I think maybe even maybe millennials as well, because I think the book was big for like my age group when they were in their teens.
Uh-huh.
So the nostalgia factor of that,
That's good.
yeah.
That-
Uh, but that was a lot of fun. I'm
So
very
this is a thing where they try to make everybody beautiful. That's the concept, right?
Yeah, basically every kid at a certain age has to go become a pretty.
Well,
And
what really happens is that every kid at a certain age goes through an ugly stage. I mean, there's nothing worse than puberty.
true,
There's
true.
nothing.
So yeah, it's an interesting story, and I think it's a cool like kind of reflection on society and certain things that are going on with you know
Uh-huh.
some of this stuff. And
Does it
yeah,
have anything to do with social media? How social media makes kids think that they all need to look like beautiful people that are having a beautiful life every freaking second of every
I
freaking
mean, I think yeah, yeah,
here's
right.
my gorgeous, perfect cheeseburger. You know.
No, we do live in that type of world. I mean, it's not, that's not the main there. It touches on all of that, I think, by
Mhm.
hitting the core of like, think about that concept. Like everybody, you're considered an ugly until you hit, I think it's 14. They all have to go to this like school where they become pretty and they get all plastic surgery and a whole makeover. And the concept, I think that touches on, yeah, everything we're going through in society.
Mhm.
On the
It sure
surface level.
does. That when I read it, I said, "Ding, ding, ding, ding." I think that's going to be pretty popular.
Yeah,
I really do.
yeah.
For good or for bad, it'll be good for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully, right?
Um, so I asked my friends who were fortunate enough to get in touch with me about you. I didn't have any idea how to reach you.
Yeah.
Um, they said, "Have you seen what he did at the nurses' ball?" I said, "I don't watch the show anymore," and very rarely,
Right.
especially since they just killed me off screen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
On which one?
General Hospital.
No.
They killed me off.
Well, that
And
doesn't.
they didn't even bring me back from the penitentiary to kill me off, so I didn't even get a day's pay.
Oh.
Cheap, 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 cheap. So
Oh.
I decided when I was reading your thing about not going back to Kiki's funeral, I read that you wrote that you should have been at Kiki's funeral. And I was like, see, I'm
Yeah.
not the only one. I'm not the only one. If they don't bring back for the day that they should bring them back,
Yeah. I mean, it's how soaps go though. You might not be dead forever. You
Oh,
never know.
I was dead 26 years, honey.
Okay, well, that's a that is a
Why
big
would
gap,
they just
but
shoot me in the head while I'm in the penitentiary? It makes absolutely no sense. But
never say never. Never
I
say.
know, I know. But I'd like to do some other things.
Yeah.
I really would. And I have done some other things and it's been fun. Um, but anyway, so I watched this nurse's ball and I just couldn't believe how good you were. Is Switches your song? Stitches.
Stitches. No, that's a Shawn Mendes song, but that year it had come out. When did we shoot that? I want to say like 2016 or something. That was a while.
Mhm.
But that's right when that song was really big.
Well, it was great. And
And
sang
yeah, thank you. That
and
was
I love the production value. They spent some money.
yeah, it looked really good. I was
People
that
haven't seen that. You really ought to go see it. It looks really, really good. And then I looked up some of your music on YouTube, and
yeah.
I really like Compton.
Yeah, that's my new one that just came out.
I love it.
Thank you so much. That was a lot of fun.
How did you come up with that idea? You're not exactly the Compton color, and I don't mean that in a racist way,
No,
but
no,
you
no.
don't see white people singing about Compton very often.
Right. Well, that's what's funny. I was like,
I love that.
I wanted to make sure people understood that the song, the title is actually the name of the girl in the
Okay.
song, and I wrote it originally about a friend of mine named Lauren Compton. She's a
I thought you were
comedian.
trying to be Eminem. I wasn't sure what was going
Yeah,
on.
yeah, no, no, no. I know my place. I but yeah, it's actually not about people when they first listen to it, you just hear Compton and you automatically assume it's about the place Compton. But if you really break down the lyrics, it's all about this girl named Compton, and she's kind of mysterious, and that's why her name is kind of like interesting, and the whole video is kind of this cat and mouse chase. And um
I
yeah,
love the lyrics. I thought the lyrics were great. I mean, it's easy to listen to, and it
yeah,
sounds like you should be on the radio. People tell
thank
you
you.
that? Do people tell you that all the time? Like it just sounds
Yeah,
like it should be playing. Like it's not surprising that.
well, thank you. I agree. I don't know. It's so interesting game. The music, I thought the acting industry was complex and difficult, but the music world is maybe even more crazy than the acting world.
Oh, there's no question about it. My sister had a deal with Curb Records. My sister Tamara,
Yeah,
it's Tamara Walker. If you look
yeah.
online, you won't believe how great she is. As a matter of fact, I sing. I've sung all my life. And when she was going to be in the Miss America pageant, right? She was Miss Maryland America. I was Miss Maryland USA. So when she was Miss Maryland America, she said, I'm thinking about doing Don't Rain on My Parade. I said, can you sing that? She goes, oh, yeah, no problem. I said, then you should do that because hardly anybody can sing that song. Right?
Yeah.
She got a standing ovation in Atlantic City by everybody else's parents.
Wow.
That's saying something.
That's saying something.
Yeah,
That's
she's
crazy.
amazing. She's amazing. So she ended up in Nashville. She got a deal with Curb Records. She had a number of songs that went platinum on the Coyote Ugly album.
Oh, cool.
But there was a star, I'm not going to say her name, who was with Curb Records who didn't want them to put out any singles on my sister before they put out singles on her. And it was two big name people there.
Oh man,
And
really?
so they kept putting her on albums. So they had her sing the title song called Angel Eyes of a Jennifer Lopez movie, and something with Sky, something, just different. She felt like she was the title singer of all these different movies that year.
Right, right.
Um,
So
but
she was
it's
kind of being
cutthroat.
shelved.
Yeah, she was being shoved to the side just a little bit because they didn't want to lose their other people.
Right. Yeah, it's a complicated, weird game, I feel like. And there's a lot of shady people involved in that world, I feel like, as well.
Mm.
Well, in the entertainment industry as a whole, I guess. But yeah, the music stuff. But I mean, at the end of the day, and I'll continue to do music, of course, but I'm glad that I was able to release those 4 songs. Those were my 4 favorite songs, and I did videos, and it's really fun to have those. It's interesting because like it seems like these days the people that are like blowing up, like they're going viral off TikTok or something, and
Mm.
uh, it's like winning the lottery almost. But I'm holding out hope. You never know. One of these songs, you just need like one viral. Somebody uses it in their clip or something, and all of a sudden people go, "What is that? What artist is that?" You know what I mean?
What about just sending it to a record company? Are you supposed to put it out on your own first? I mean, is that what they want you to do? Is to put it on TikTok and have it go viral? I mean, that seems so I know I'm old and I don't know everything anymore, but it seems amateurish.
Yeah.
It seems
I
like
mean,
you should be able to send it to a record company or an agent that does music and have them hook you up with a record company, and you should be able to get them sending you songs to sing. Publishing
yeah,
companies should.
yeah. I mean, it's true. And I think nowadays record labels and social media, they all kind of work together. Like record labels realize the importance of things like TikTok and Instagram. But
Mm.
there are so many artists that, just like your sister's story, they don't want to be shelved. They don't want to give up all their rights. They don't want to sign with somebody and then be exclusive to whatever style. So there's a lot of artists now. One of the good things about all these different social media platforms, content creators and musicians and can post their own stuff, and a lot of them then will they'll start to blow up on social media or something, and then a record label will find them and approach them. Or
Do
I
you
mean, it
think
can go either way. I've heard horror stories about some record label situations, and I haven't gone down that road. I'm sure it's awesome for some people. I just I just really wanted to get my stuff out, you know? I really was excited to do it myself, do the music videos with my people that I love, and just
You did
release,
it.
you know?
And it
So
doesn't sound, it sounds completely like it's, there's no loss in the quality of anything. I mean, it looks like a record company put it out, which
right.
is great. You know, the everything about it is good.
Yeah.
Wait till my friend who is so overly qualified to help me with this thing. This is insane. He's just like doing me the biggest favor, and he's like totally overly qualified. He's done like 200 or 300 movies. He's a big time sci-fi thriller director. His name is Neil Johnson, and he used to be in England. He was in music over there.
Mm.
So when he hears this, he's gonna die. He's gonna think that's really cool because he can, you know, he won't sing anymore, but he certainly can. He's got hair down to here, and he's really good looking, and you can just see, you know, like a better looking White Snake kind of guy, you know, kind of thing. But anyway, when he sees this, he's gonna laugh, and then when he sees the stuff that you did for The Walking Dead, he's gonna think that's really cool too, because he comes out here and shoots over in Joshua Tree when he's trying to
Oh,
create like Mars,
yeah, yeah.
like let's look like we're on the moon or something.
Right.
So
Yeah.
then when I first met him, he had this he created a rocket or a flying saucer, and I saw it in the movie, and it was flying. Okay, so I walk him to his car, and I'm like, "What's that in the back of your car?" It was a flying saucer. It was the one he used in the on the moon,
Right,
right?
right.
Um, I just think it's amazing what he can do with special effects and stuff like
So
that.
cool. Where does he live
So
now?
he lives in Ojai, but he did live in Malibu, and his house got completely burnt to the ground next to the lady that Lori Corbin, who has a studio there that's gorgeous. Which, if you look at my first 11 or 12 shows, I shot them in that studio, and so he was friends with her because he lived two doors down.
Yeah.
His house got burnt to the ground, and her house didn't get touched. Right.
That's wild. Yeah,
So
that was crazy
yeah.
about those fires because the fires would skip around,
Mhm.
you know, and some houses would be totally fine. That was so sad.
So weird. So weird. So anyway, so he started working with her because they were friends. They were neighbors. And so when I wanted to use her studio, he did all the camera work and the lighting, and he does my editing for me.
Okay, cool.
Very, very lucky. Yeah. But I want him to see you because I think it would be great if he could put you in one of his movies. He does a lot of them. He does a lot.
Well, awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. I just thought, you know, when he saw that stuff, he would think that was pretty fun. You
That's
know.
so cool.
So what are some of the things that you'd like to do next? What's the kind of character that you haven't done that you might like to do?
I would love to just I'd love to be a part of one of these epic shows that, you know, but there's so much good TV right now. It's hard to even keep up. There's some bad TV too, but there's a lot of good TV. Like I'm watching the new Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon, or what is the new
I haven't seen it yet, but I know it's good and I'm supposed to watch it. My kids are telling me you gotta watch it.
Okay. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so good. So I think, yeah, I think it would just be I think it would be really cool to be in some type of period piece like that, or, you know, fantasy world show that's just on that epic scale of, and the characters are just, you get to see them start somewhere. And like the cool thing about a series, I think in my mind, is like just to see the evolution and the growth of these characters. There's something different than watching a movie when you have a show that's got 6 seasons, like a Breaking Bad, where you just get to see these characters go through this journey.
Right.
Uh, you really feel like you know them, you know what I mean? Uh,
But the actor knows them too. I
right,
always find it easier to do a soap opera, you know, where I get to play this part, and I get
right,
to make up the backstory, even if they give me a backstory, I get to make up the backstory. But then as I'm put into different situations,
right.
I know this girl, right?
Yeah, right.
I know this woman,
Yeah,
and I know what she would do, and it's not some corny thing. Well, my character wouldn't do that. It's really and truly who she is, and I know who she is, right?
yeah, right.
So I don't think you get that chance to flesh out a character to that degree, but you're supposed to
Right.
in a film. You're
Right.
supposed to flesh that character all the way out, you know?
Right.
Um, but I think it's a lot harder because you only have this short period of time
Right. In a
to get
movie.
to know this person that you're
Right.
playing. And I love television for that reason. I
Yeah.
find it just fantastic to get to really inhabit this character so fully.
Right.
But then there would be movie, especially in New York, there'd be film actors that would come in, stage actors that would come in and do our show.
Yeah.
And they had a hard time.
Yeah. Really.
The dialogue was so much, and the
Right.
pages were so many, and the takes were so fast.
Yeah. It was.
The rehearsal was so non-existent.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
had some back then. We did have some, but um, so it's a different set of muscles, but the idea is the same. The idea
Right.
of being this whole person.
Yeah. I think yeah, soaps are it's like you either sink or you swim, right? When you first start, it's like you gotta either keep up and learn those, figure out a way to learn those lines and be prepped. You got to prep a lot. Just get yourself ready because you probably aren't going to have, a lot of rehearsal time. Maybe you're quick blocking and it's like actors boot camp. I
Mm.
mean, I learned so much,
But
but
you
I
got
do.
to work with Tracy.
Oh yeah, it was awesome. I
Yeah.
mean, work with some of the greatest. They were so talented.
Jane Elliott is just amazing, and she's been there forever, off and on. But
Right.
character is, I love that you were her son.
Yeah, she was awesome.
I saw
Yeah.
a scene with her and a man that I recognize, but I don't remember his name. Very handsome. Supposed to be your dad?
Oh yeah, Richard Burgi.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great scene.
Oh, cool. Thank
Yeah,
you.
it was a great scene.
Um,
You really put him in his place,
yeah,
and I really saw the family dynamic in that. And it wasn't very soapy. It was really good. You know what I mean? A lot of the things I saw you do were just really good. And I'm really picky, so there you
thank you. It means a lot.
go. What
It
it's
means a
worth.
lot because
Yeah.
it's a journey what we've chosen to do. But I love it. I mean, I've been out here for 16 years and I've worked at this point all kinds of projects, some big, some small, all different types of roles. I feel really, really grateful. Obviously, I'm excited for like Uglies to come out and some of these big projects to get me in that dream role, like we were just talking about. Um, but I feel really, really like, especially after I mean, it's slow right now, so it's annoying because it's slow and we just had the pandemic and the strike. But like we talked about earlier, the fact that I've gotten to work even as much as I have over the past few years with everything that's been going on. And a lot of that is due to like having friends and a community of artists that that's my tribe and we create stuff on our own. So if we're not booking something, somebody else's project where I'm constantly making music or doing a short film or creating a pilot, like I love the community of people I have out here and my friends that, we try to stay busy even when the work is slow.
Yeah.
Uh,
I need to move back to LA because I live in Palm Desert and it's dead. I mean, it's just it's not, and so I need to get back to LA. I was in Manhattan Beach recently, but I need to develop a group of people like that.
yeah, it's
I
so
produced a film called The Derby Stallion, and we just lost Bill Cobbs yesterday. He just passed away. But I found Zac Efron and put him in a movie before anybody else did.
no way.
Yeah, right before High School Musical.
That's
Really
hilarious.
good at spotting talent.
What
And
was the movie? So you were in casting as well?
I was the producer, so I picked everything.
Okay.
I did everybody, the whole, yeah, paid for the movie, did the whole thing. And it was
Wow.
called The Derby Stallion. It was a horse movie.
Mhm.
Um, but he did a great job, and he worked with Bill Cobbs, who was
Yeah,
90 years old and just passed away yesterday.
right.
And Billy Moses was in it. I played Zach's mother. My children played Zach's sisters. Um,
Ah, that's funny.
Billy Moses was wonderful. William R. Moses, he's always wonderful. It was great. And we just put it into 2K, and now it's on television all over on Stars and stuff. but we sold it again in Germany and again in Latin America. We're just, it's like it's getting another life, which
That's
is
awesome. That's
pretty
awesome.
awesome. Yeah, yeah. I love both sides of the camera, actually, you know.
That's great. I think it's
Um,
so important to, yeah, be multifaceted and when it comes to
that's
what we
why I want
do.
to be with other people that are doing that because I've done it. I know how to do it. So.
Right. You got to get back on the horse. Let's make something.
Okay. So
Make a movie.
yeah, it's a good
Hit
idea.
up your buddy. Hit up your
That's a good
buddy.
idea. But
Man, Neil.
the
Let's.
thing is, I used to write the checks to make the movie with. So now I got
Oh
to find
yeah.
somebody else to write the checks. So I've
Yeah, we
been
got.
writing. I've been writing a lot.
Okay,
Uh,
that's good.
so I love that. But
I
it's
like your.
long.
I like your setup there. It looks like you've got a cool like theater Broadway kind of vibe going on in your
Well,
office.
I lived in New York a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I helped produce. Let's see, Enchanted April. Got an associate. I got a Tony nomination for that. Um, and I've sung. I've done a lot of different things. I really did love New York. I loved it
Yeah.
there. Yeah,
New York is awesome.
yeah. You ever lived there?
I have not lived there, but I've visited a lot and I've done some theater there as well, but I haven't ever lived there. But I would love to. I think especially as an actor, gosh, what better the inspire. There's so much creativity and just
Yeah.
going to all the live theater and music and food and yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I love LA. The weather's great. I love being by the beach. I think this is a little more my speed, if I'm being honest. But New York has just got an energy that's incredible.
Somebody used to say that there was a friend of mine that in New York, if there's two starving actors and one's got a cheese sandwich, in LA, they'll eat the cheese sandwich in front of you, and in New York, they'll cut it in half to share.
That's hilarious.
It's like, I don't want to think that that's possibly true.
Yeah.
So, what else is coming up that we should be looking for? What's the Fostered?
Fostered is a movie I just shot right before Christmas. It's a horror thriller, and that'll be probably streaming on all the different platforms. But that's in post right now. And that
Himalaya?
what's that?
Himalaya?
Himalaya.
Is there a Himalaya?
Oh, Himalaya. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's that movie. That's a horror movie I did also last year, or was it last year? I don't even remember
I
now.
have never done a horror movie.
No?
No,
Oh,
no.
you got to do at least one.
I'm such a
Um,
wuss. Oh my God. I'm such a wuss.
but that one is, I think that one is streaming already on, I think it's on Tubi, maybe,
All
or
right, I gotta watch it. If it's not too scary, is it too scary?
no, it's interesting though. But yeah, it's definitely got, there's definitely some jump scares in there. And then, yeah, Foster should be coming out at some point this summer. And then I've got a movie coming out called Trapped In that I'm in with Matt Rife.
I read that. Okay, what's that
Uh,
about?
that's a, that's kind of a like sci-fi thriller, I'd say. Um, but that's really cool that that's finally coming out because that's been one that I actually shot that during the pandemic as well. Matt Rife is in it with me, and he's like, he's a worldwide star now. So since we shot that, he's become like a household name, which is so cool to see his career just take
All
off.
right, so I'll have to look him up, see if he wants to do my show. That'd
There
be
you go,
fun.
there you go.
I'm
So
also
just yeah,
friends
I've
with a
got
guy.
that.
Yeah, I've got a friend who does just movies. He's
Oh,
got a
cool.
film to film or something, film to screen or screen to film. So I'll let him know about you.
Okay, please, yes. I'm an actor looking for work.
Well, he will promote it, whatever it is. He'll promote it.
Um, that's awesome. Do you have anything coming up?
Just these two things that the last culprit is the last thing, and
Okay, so
this episode of Destination Heaven. But I've got to get an agent and a manager. I've got a lot of work to do. So,
okay.
but
And how long
I'm
have you been
going
doing
into
this?
yes,
How long have
since
you been doing this?
January.
Okay.
Yeah, just a few
Awesome.
months.
Good
Yeah,
for you. This is really cool. I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you had me on.
yeah. So am I. So am I. So that's it. I'm really excited to see you. Excited to meet you. You have a wife, I heard.
No,
You don't have a wife.
no wife.
Not married.
No, who'd you hear that from?
I asked Christian. And,
Really?
and he said he thought you were married. I said, well, I'm not reading anything about this.
No,
So,
I'm single.
okay.
Um,
What's dating? This used to be a just dating show. I started it off as just a dating show. What do you think about dating today?
well, hmm, I don't know. I
Have
mean,
you ever tried the apps? Have you ever gone online on any of these dating apps?
I have. I feel like it's a lot of the apps are just kind of like people get bored and they just get on to swipe. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like I feel like there's a lot of people, even when you connect with somebody, there's a lot of flakiness and not actually ever meeting up or going on a date. It's just more like, just a like a time kill thing.
Like shopping on Amazon.
Yeah, we scroll through like now we scroll through Instagram and our brains are so fast to move on to the next thing. Even when you match with somebody, it's like you talk for a couple minutes and then I don't know. So I don't know. The apps are kind of weird. Yeah, it's been a weird few years, and I feel like I've just been more focused on work stuff the past few years. But dating in LA, I will say is is weird.
It's challenging.
Yeah,
I
and
didn't
everybody
meet anybody in LA and I was here a long time. So
yeah,
yeah,
everybody's here.
I dated almost everybody in LA.
You tried, right?
I did. I went out with a lot.
Gave it the old college try.
I went out with a lot of people. I had one long relationship in the 80s with an attorney.
Okay.
Um, but that was it. And I came out in 1980, so I was with him a long time. But I dated a lot. But I didn't meet my husband till I was 37.
Wow.
And we got married and had children. And I gave up my career and moved to Cleveland.
Wow.
How about that?
That's love.
Yeah. Moved
That's
to
love.
Cleveland, raised my children. And then when he got sick, I took care of him. And now I'm back. Yeah. That was the greatest thing ever. It was,
Yeah.
yeah. But you can't do what you're doing and give 100% to a relationship right now. And so when
Right.
I saw the work you were doing, that's why I asked Christian. I'm like, he must have a really understanding wife.
Yeah.
And he goes, I think he's married. I said, okay, I'll ask him. Because one thing that I don't like, and I don't see it in you, but one thing that I don't like about being an actor again
Mhm.
is it's so self-centered.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I got into everybody was important but me
Right.
for 26 years. You know
Right.
what I mean? To have my children and have my, it was 21 years, have my kids, they were most important. My husband was most important. Our
Right.
community was really important. His business was really important, and that was a big change for me. And now I'm like, okay, well, I got to go get the Botox and I've got to lose 5 pounds. So me. And it's just not what I really liked being. I like it better when the focus is on you.
Right.
Really like that.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it turns out. But you've
Yeah, it is. It does start to feel, especially nowadays with with like feeling like you have to kind of create a brand and you're being pressured to post and promote your stuff. And I've definitely at times had to take a step back and put my phone down because I'm like, gosh, I've spent an hour and a half, promoting me. You got to find a balance because it can be a slippery slope of falling into full self-indulgence. And, I think, I mean, you are your own business. So you do have to do those things, nowadays you
it's
kind of,
really not that much fun.
right. But it is, yeah, it's
Nerve
weird.
wracking.
Yeah.
It's you start to get very self critical generally too.
Right. Right.
If you don't
Yeah.
become an egomaniac, you become a very self critical person.
Yeah.
I'd much rather be doing something with somebody else,
Yeah.
than
Right.
focusing on me. So,
Right. I
but we
think
have to.
trying to stay as long as you stay the most focused on the work and let the other stuff kind of fall into place, but your main focus is on the actual work of it, whether that's you finding a class and getting back in a class, or finding a group of people and doing a play or doing some live theater or creating a show, and like whatever it is, stay working on the art, uh, and make that your main passion. And I think nowadays people want to skip that part of it and jump right to posting the selfies and getting the clout and the fame. And it's like, that's cool and that's awesome. And yeah, you're building a following and you're creating a brand, but if you don't have anything to back it up, I think it's a short-lived career,
Where are the roots?
Right. Where are the roots? Um,
You gotta have roots. You gotta have that foundation
Yeah.
um, to last.
Right.
I'm always amazed at how many fans I still have.
Yeah.
I'm always amazed at how many people still want me back on TV.
Right.
Just amazed, and I was against the internet. I mean, really against it because um, I found it insulting.
Mhm.
Um, my nose was up here. Um, I just felt like, who do these people think they are? You know,
Right.
they show a little this or they show a little that, or they act completely inappropriate, or they have no class. They get tons of followers.
Right.
Who cares, right? I didn't know that when I got back out here, I was going to care.
Yeah.
I just thought this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. This can't possibly last, right? And
Right.
it did. And it really started with O.J. Simpson and people wanting to watch reality TV and looking at a car wreck.
Yeah.
People like to look at a train
Uh-oh.
wreck. But you know what I'm saying? That was such a strange thing to all of a sudden go, uh-oh, I better get followers. I didn't try. I didn't want
Right.
to. I thought it was tacky.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, how do I get followers?
I know, it's crazy.
What do I have to do? What's this OnlyFans thing? No, no, no. It's just like,
Right.
oh, it's just bad. It's weird.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. I think people are starting to realize that though. I hope the pendulum is going to swing back down and people are going to go, and parents too are going to go, maybe we don't need to get you an Instagram account when you're 12, like maybe hold off a little bit. I don't know. I'm not a parent yet, so no judgment towards any, you got to do what you got to do for your own family and your own kids. But I just feel like I get nervous. I mean, I have 3 little nieces, and first thing they want to do when they see me is grab my phone and get on TikTok and get on Instagram. And I'd be lying if I said I don't get nervous, because I'm like, what are they seeing on there? Their minds are developing right now. There's so much insecurity at that age too, and then you're entering middle school and high school, and I don't want them traumatized or thinking they have to meet this bar of perfection that is not even real. I
That's the
mean,
thing. They think it's real. Everybody thinks it's real. A lot of
I
people
know.
think it's real. Not
Right.
everybody. A lot of people.
Right.
Um, you know, it's no more real than TV is real.
Right. Yeah, totally.
So people work really hard to get that natural thing.
Yeah, right.
That spontaneous moment.
Yeah, yeah,
How many times do you have to reposition that cheeseburger before you take that picture?
yeah.
Mm, So, yeah. Well, you've got a great head on your shoulders. I'm so glad to have met you, and
Glad to have met you
can't
too.
wait to
Let me
talk
know.
to you again. I'll look for all your stuff. I'm excited.
Yeah, let me know when you're in LA. We'll grab coffee or something.
I would love that. Take it
Thank you.
easy.